WHT, New York City. Welcome to Hot 97's Street Soldiers, the hottest talk on radio. Hosted by Lisa Evers.
I'm so glad you're joining us for this episode of Street Soldiers. I'm policing the police. I'm your host, Lisa Evers, on Twitter, at Lisa Evers, Instagram, Lisa Evers Live. And TJ's going to take a picture of us here in studio and post it in just a moment. And you can post your comments on my Instagram page, at Lisa Evers Live. Hashtag justice, the number 4, all. Justice, the number 4, all. And we'll read some of them on the air. Also, this is a good moment to text your family and friends and tell them to tune in right now. And there's so many ways to do that. 97.1 FM, as you know, in New York City and the Tri-State. You can listen to our online stream across the United States. That's on hot97.com and everywhere on your phone using the iHeartRadio app or TuneIn app. And it's a good thing to just have on your phone. This way you don't have to miss any of your favorite Hot 97 shows. And you can hear the show all over again right after we're off the air for free on lisaevers.com. Just click on the show audio. Our question, our focus, who should police the police? Let me bring in Dr. Derek Greenfield. He's a community leader and race relations educator. Dr. Greenfield, what can you tell young men of color and their parents who are very stressed out by this?
Well, it's an honor to join you and be with all the street soldiers out there. Certainly, we have to go from a moment to a movement of challenging white supremacy, as it was talked about, because we can deal with some of these symptoms, but there's a larger illness of structural racism that feeds down into the kind of policies and practices that justify it. You know, it's kind of like a situation where there's an abusive relationship, and it takes time to heal, and it's going to take real work on both sides to be able to have some conversations to help us to be able to grow together. I think, first of all, as a community, we need to wrap our arms around black and brown men of color and black and brown men, and just in general in the community, and say we love you, we believe in you, we support you, and to be vigilant in saying we're going to challenge the police and challenge all educational and institutional officials to look at implicit bias, to look at structural racism, to challenge ourselves to have the real kind of change that's going to be required. We need to go from an at-risk model to an at-success model that says our young people are brilliant and wonderful. You know, Tamir Rice was gunned down. They thought he was 20 years old. And Philip Goff's research about the way in which black children are adultified and viewed in ways that get rid of their innocence.
I wanted to ask you about that, because with the Rice, with that child, he was described as very large. We heard some of the same terminology that's applied with black men, menacing, the looks, that there's nothing from actual behavior that indicates that, except from just these demonization type stereotypes.
Absolutely. A dandelion is a weed or a flower, depending how you look at it, and you treat it differently based on that. So to have folks really look at what implicit bias and racism, how it filters into our consciousness, is going to be real critical. And I'm hoping that the reforms that have been proposed for the police, we want to look at what's the curriculum going to be, who's going to teach it. Is this going to be symbolic or symbiotic, where community leaders are going to have an active voice in shaping that agenda?
Right, or if this is just one of these things that go through the motions.
Stop and frisk, we can challenge this and change this as well.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Derek Greenfield. His website is derekgreenfield.com. Thank you so much.